Well, we are here in the eponymous tram in Kolkata where Detective Byomkesh Bakshi, that is Diwakar Banerjee's directorial venture, is being launched. Sushant Singh Rajput and Diwakar, they are in the backdrop where the media is totally converged upon them, and we are here in the tram. And I think this is the most adventurous and fantastic launch events that we've been a part of, and I hope that you like this video from Kolkata.
पहली बात तो ये कि मैं जो ब्योमकेश करना चाहता हूँ वो अभी तक जो ब्योमकेश हो चुके हैं उससे थोड़ा सा अलग करना चाहता हूँ, क्योंकि अगर मैं वही ब्योमकेश करूँ जो पहले भी हो चुका है तो फिर दर्शकों को कुछ नया नहीं दे पाऊंगा। ये ब्योमकेश 22-23 साल का ब्योमकेश है जो कॉलेज से निकल के पहली बार डिटेक्टिव बनने निकला है। ये उसका पहला एडवेंचर है, इसलिए मुझे ऐसा ब्योमकेश चाहिए था जो अभी डिटेक्टिव या सत्यान्वेषी नहीं बना, सत्यान्वेषी बनने की राह में है। दूसरी बात, ये 1942 में बेस्ड है और मैं चाह रहा था कि ऐसा कॉन्ट्रास्ट हो कि सुशांत जैसे निहायत ही 21वीं सदी के नौजवान स्टार को, हार्टथ्रॉब को 1942 के एक नौजवान में परिवर्तन करने का जो चैलेंज है मुझे बड़ा अच्छा लगा। तीसरी बात यह है, जो सबसे बड़ी बात है कि आजकल के नौजवान नए एक्टर्स में से सुशांत एक ऐसे प्रॉमिसिंग एक्टर हैं जिन्होंने कभी एक्टिंग दिखाने की कोशिश नहीं की और उस आंदोलन से होकर भी सुशांत ने बखूबी बहुत ही नेचुरल, सटल और सोचने वाली एक्टिंग की, तो उसका दोहा मानना पड़ेगा। तो ये 3 कारण है कि बहुत अच्छे एक्टर हैं और आगे की जर्नी बहुत अच्छी है। दूसरी बात, मॉडर्न है, इनको 42 में दिखाएंगे। और तीसरी बात, मुझे एक यंग वल्नरेबल डिटेक्टिव चाहिए जो भी पूरा डिटेक्टिव नहीं।
After having so many conversations with Diwakar, I was so sure that I can, okay, for these next 4 months I'll do the prep for the film and we'll get to know about the film and the character.
Right.
But I can take that leap of faith. I can improvise, I can do all sort of things that I feel like doing while I'm acting, and Diwakar will take care of it. He'll tell me that no, do not do this. This is where you are going wrong. So just because of that faith, was I able to perform like this, and I feel that this is the most, as I've told you, this is the most honest I have ever been as an actor since 8 years of my acting career. Yes, I could understand those few things because he wanted, somehow he was not aware of it, but then he wanted to fit in the society. So this was his defense mechanism. He was thinking that he's maybe so cerebral or so intelligent. That's why people don't get, people don't get along with him, and he was using that. But all till the time he gets to know that no, he wants companionship, he wants people to be around him, and that's when he tries to change his few things. By the end of the film, you'll find him actually mincing words when he's talking to Ajit and telling him that तुम्हारे पिताजी शायद अच्छे आदमी थे. So he's trying to do all sort of things in order to keep all those loved ones
becoming
around.
More diplomatic.
Yeah. So he's learning to be more socially acceptable. But then yes, these are things that I can understand because of sheer experience that I've had.
Right. Why Sushant Singh Rajput?
Because he is one of the few genuine young stars who will be also an actor in the years to come. We have very few of them, believe me.
Absolutely.
And also because he's a very contemporary heartthrob, and to take that kind of a guy and put him in 1942 is a huge, interesting challenge and kick for me. And last but not the least, in Sushant I feel a strange vulnerability, which I find will be the most amazing thing about my Byomkesh. This is a story about a man, a boy becoming a man. A young man becoming what he wants to be, and a young man in search of truth and his realization that truth can have many faces. And this is also about Byomkesh's coming of age. So it's full of layers.
I believe while you're acting, you just close your mobile for I think months, and people can't access you, and you're not invited to parties and events. That's what you've said in one of the interviews.
Yeah.
So for an actor, it is important to just totally get away from all the communication whatsoever.
I think whatever it takes, you have to have that frame of mind where you can try to create something new. So I mean, like, there can be different process to do the same thing. This was important for this particular film because the era that we are talking about is 1940s,
Right.
and there was no internet, there was no phones, there was no mineral water, there was no automatic cars. So
Right.
all the things that I could have done to start with to break the pattern that we normally live in, I started with that, and then I worked on the characters and other nuances of the film. He is a kind of filmmaker that can see beneath the surface. He is the kind of filmmaker who will never tell you that, okay, this is the shot, and as an audience you're supposed to think or see this or sense this. So it's very abstract, and this is a very important a reason why I said yes to this film.
What one expects from a period movie is in terms of the color, but there's a lot of thrill element into it. That I think the pace, at least on the promos, it's very fast paced, and you're saying that it's primarily catering to the youthful audience.
Of course, I don't think it has changed since last 60 years. I think the most fundamental thing that should be there in a film, especially of this genre, is if you can sustain the idea of what's going to happen next. So that's the first thing that we, as a filmmaker, you get to learn. Okay, this is something that should be consistent in a film. So Sharadindu's stories, all the 31 and 32, it's got a style, and he is able to maintain that thing. So everything that he has done with the script, everything, all the things that you were saying, that okay, there's a Japanese invasion happening, there is Chinese guys, there are American GIs in the film, there is a opium trade in the film,
Right.
there is a Calcutta underworld very thriving at that point of time, there is Indian National Army. So these are the things that were there in Calcutta at that point of time. Also because of Sharadindu, what he has written, so he has kept the essence alive. He has kind of created that consistent what if, what next thing in the film. I think it doesn't change whether it's 1940s or it's a story of 70s or 2015.
This is Nikita Kulkarni from Mumbai. How difficult was it to portray a detective, and what training did he have to undergo? Did you have any training? You
Of
had
course.
some workshops, I believe.
I think for 4 to 5 months,
Right.
4 to 5 to 6, I don't remember, but it was definitely 4 to 6 months when I trained for it. Trained in the sense I did my research for it,
Right.
and we were doing workshops, and there were so many things I was doing. I mean, like, the most important thing is to, in your head you need to convince yourself that this is 1940s and you could, and you have the authority to be the character, and that's very important. There's a very thin line between me pretending to be one and me actually sometimes in some takes believing that maybe yes, I am the character. So to get that correct, you need to spend time, and so 4 to 5 months I was doing everything that could help me to believe it.
What has been the best compliment that you've got so far, Sushant?
There are many. I think my family told me that, thinking that it will be me in the film, but not in a single frame. They thought it was me. So I think it was a very good compliment.
Do you have a sequel point at the end of it?
We always had a sequel planned because Byomkesh is becoming Byomkesh in this film.
Right.
And while becoming Byomkesh, he comes across his greatest nemesis, and he's going to come back. He pretty much said, I'll be back. So that's when the Clash of the Titans takes place.
This is Siddhant from Kota. When are we getting a sequel to Detective Byomkesh Bakshi?
Well, I'm hoping very soon.
That is a damn good character, man.
Yes, I'm hoping very soon.
It can be.
All I'm saying that at this point of time, it is more that I want than what is happening at this point of time. But I'm hoping I get to play it very soon.
Great.
Yeah.
So are you in talks with Divakar for this?
I'm saying that it's more than a hope, just a hope. It's more than a wish, right?
It was technically a brilliant film. Like the entire thing, the last 30 minutes were like
I was so happy
seriously
playing
some-
that character.
it was.
And
He's
when
very
I
stylized.
when I see the picture or the I feel very nostalgic. So it's not like beaming that I have done good or bad, whatever. But it is, I want to do it again. You know what I'm saying? So it's a reason enough to make it happen. What do you say?
Make it happen. No, I think it must actually. Best part was the stylized part. I think the way the Kolkata was shown was brilliant.